Are you sure? So be it.
This is where the fun begins.
Did you miss me?
Hi everyone, did you miss me? So yes, we are at a different time today, but we're still having Caf Chat. So as usual, I do have my mug of caf. And yeah, this is basically my first full cup of coffee, or mug of coffee for me today. Had a very important, busy morning. I had to take care of then. I went and got my workout in the gym, de-stressed from it, and now I'm here with you guys. So you guys, thank you for popping in such a different odd hour for Caf Chat. And of course, what are you enjoying? What's in your mug today, this afternoon? I was going to say this morning, but we already passed that now. It's afternoon here where I live, and probably early evening for some of you guys. So thank you for tuning in as well. So I have some interesting topics. I promised that, and I don't have a slide. I didn't make the slide, but I promise that we will compare and contrast Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order in original lore versus in the Disney. So I have all that stuff down for you. We will discuss as well. And then we're going to get into a cringe factor article. So everything's going to be kind of short and sweet today. About does Mara Jade truly fit in the Disney lore? So we're going to talk about that. Might as well talk about both Luke and Mara. That's perfect pairing, right? For some of you guys that really love the pairing between Mara and Luke. Some people I've heard really like Luke with Callista, and that's more power to them. So before we move on, please hit the like button. Please share that we're live. And if you're catching the replay, I sincerely thank you for coming in and supporting after the fact that we went live. And please, if you're sharing or if you're watching the replay, comment below and also share the stream out. We are, slowly climbing up in numbers as a channel, which, I'm so thankful for. And I know the type of channel that I have, it'll slowly climb up in numbers because I'm not a full pop culture that shares rumors, what have you, kind of channel. I do stuff that's pertaining to Star Wars, basically George Lucas era of Star Wars. So let me know what you're enjoying in your cup of coffee or your cup of your choice of beverage in your cup. I could spit this shit out. I can talk English. I can talk sometimes. That sounded weird. Yeah. So with that being said, for those of you guys that read the EU and know about Callista or any other love interest of Luke Skywalker, do you prefer or have you preferred someone else other than Mara Jade? Let me know. This is not a trick question, nor is it something to cause problem. I just want to know sincerely, did you prefer someone else other than Mara? Did she grow on you as you started reading through the EU and how they started developing their relationship? So let me know in the comments before we move on. And I'm going to go ahead and start checking out who is popping in the chat. Hi, Jackson. How are you doing? A space wizard is never late. Let's see here. Oh, and I'm also going to share a tweet that someone sent out. In fact, I'm going to do that here pretty quick before we get into the Skywalker Jedi Order compare and contrast between both original and Disney lore. So we're going to get into that a little bit because I was like, why is this question even a thing when we know what George thinks? Okay, so they arrive precisely when they mean to. Exactly. They have Jedi are known for that, right? Even Talon Card agrees. Jedi are known for showing up precisely at the right time. Exactly. And of course, I do have my hope mug. So it's Luke. It's a silhouette of Luke Skywalker. His robes represent the dunes, this Genlin Waste, I guess you could say, and then the binary sunset and all this. So it's basically Luke, Tatooine binary sunset type thing in a different concept with the hope. This is the true hope here. This is what George Lucas intended for the true hope, to get the galaxy back in order. Of course, through the Jedi, he's the hope of bringing the Jedi back and helping to bring. He didn't bring balance back. He was the catalyst for it, for his father to fulfill the prophecy, right? And then Leia was the other type of hope, I guess you can say, that where she came and helped reorganize and reestablish the new republic as well. And I do see I have a super chat. I will get to that here pretty soon. Hey everybody, please hit the like button. Do what Soul Assassin says. And I'm wearing my nice little team jacket here, Bombshell Fitness, where I won a spot in the calendar that's coming out. So thank you guys again. I'm forever grateful for you guys. Let's see here. And then a channel member. Okay, come on, pop up. Hey there, OG Star Wars. So hey, girl. So hey there, Melissa Lord. Another channel member here. Thank you so much. I did check, I did get your email. And once I begin, I will let you know more about my experience with the game. Let's see here. And Stunning and Brave Megatron says, no, only bad things belong to Disney canon. And then Geode is the only good character Disney created. Are you a fan of Geode? Oh my God, that's hilarious. And then thank you so much to Abu Nas $10 super chat. Shake my head. You just had to put Caf Chat in the middle of the afternoon. Laughed out either way, showing support as I love to do. It's just today, it's not like a new set schedule. I had an important meeting this morning. I had to take care of some business, and then I decided to just go ahead and hit the gym to de-stress from the important meeting and come home and get ready for you guys for Caf Chat. So I'm all feeling great. I'm actually, kind of have that after workout buzz, I guess you could say. I feel really, really great. Today was basically another type of leg day. And then I was on the treadmill with a little routine there, and then the Stairmaster with a little, so it was all about the legs, the butt, the hamstrings, all of that today. So thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate your continued support. Another channel member here. Thank you, Abu Nasi. He's been with me from the beginning. He's actually the influencer of me deciding to change my channel to a Star Wars related type channel. So my platform. So he's the one that convinced me to do that. And so, yeah. So, and then once I got monetized, he became a channel member. I think he's my first. I believe so. So thank you so much, Abu Nas, for your continued support. I still will blame you and fault you for your choice of shows when it comes to Disney Star Wars. We all do like bad things. So, sometimes we have bad taste. So thank you. Studying a Brave Megatron. I heard it's called non-binary sunset now. Holy shit, that's hilarious. I am number 15. Awesome. And let's see here. Get your own Hope Cup here. Yes. So you can get a Hope Cup. You can get the t-shirts. There's other things there too, because you can basically set the type of merch that you offer to your clients, I guess. But mainly I love to, sponsor with these cups here since, my main show is Caf Chat and has been for a long time. So, but if you want a t-shirt or whatever, feel free to get one. Yeah, because he is the true hope right here. And I do have an actual painting. I have to finish it. But it's basically this image and the galaxies behind him. And I'm doing the galaxy behind him so you can see the Star Wars galaxy as well. So I haven't finished. There's a few paintings I have not finished yet. I just feel like I have a painter's block, writer's block, painter's block. So I will get on that soon. And then Crimson Mist, how are you doing? Oh, hi, Alora. Hope you had a good vacation. I'm drinking some mineral water right now. Awesome. I need to grab some water. I need to stay hydrated because I'm putting my muscles through a lot of stress through lifting and stuff, and I need to replenish and hydrate them so I don't stay sore as long. Because once your muscles stop getting sore out of the workout, that means your muscles adapted to that weight size and are the weight limit, I guess you could say. Like, so if you're lifting or if you're doing like 35 pounds, like shoulder press or whatever, and it starts to feel better and you could push through it. And then you need to up the weight so that you can still build through and stress the muscles, I guess you could say. And then Geo Rux. Oh, that's hilarious. And Holocron Library Fox. Hello, Laura. Hello, chat. Hello, how are you doing? And we will rock you plays whenever he uses the force. You are just going on with this Geo thing, huh? We will rock you. Yeah. Just had a huge storm. And thank you, Curtis Schultz, another channel member. Well, I'm glad you're doing well and through the storm. When I went and visited my family back in the Midwest, we did have a few storms, and I have another super chat. I see you. I will get to you. So hopefully all is well. And then, hey, OG. Hey, Robert DeCosta. How are you doing? And I'm waiting for this laugh, and I knew that was coming. It's always gonna be there. I will not forget. I will keep rubbing it in you, like rubbing the salt in your wounds, because until you decide to depart with that, I'm always going to rub the salt into the wounds. Whoa, that mug is amazing. Yeah, so get your mug. I also have other things on the Redbubble too that you can look into. Another channel member, hey, what's up? I have the sticker on my laptop. Wow, nice. I would love to see a picture of that. I would love. Let's see here. And I have a nice crowd considering that I rescheduled this Caf Chat. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. You guys are amazing. Melissa Lord, if there's any problems with the link, let me know. I'll fix it. All right. I haven't clicked on the link just yet, but I will go back to it and check it out. And let's see here. So here is NB Geeks Bar and Grill. Thank you so much for the super chat. Saw some Chewy stuff on Facebook. Man, a lot of Vector Prime. I always felt his roar was, come on, little moon. My mission is complete. Still feel the loss. That right there. Those who are like, they done Chewy wrong with that, really don't understand the life debt of the Wookiee, and really didn't get into like word by word what was going on in the scenario. He basically fulfilled his life debt. He basically made sure through his life debt was to protect Han and whoever was close to Han, so Han and his family, and made sure that he protect them so that they can get, so that they could survive and stuff. That right there, nothing could have taken out Chewie in it made him such a badass, heroic character during that time. And so I don't understand why some people think that was degrading or that was really took away from his character. It did not. Yeah, shocking, OG. Gotta cut back on the Twitter battles, laugh out loud. I haven't done much lately. I haven't really done much lately on the Twitter battles and stuff like that, or going back and forth and stuff. But speaking of Twitter, I'm going to go ahead and pull this piece up here. So let's see here. I will go ahead and put myself below. So speaking of Twitter, this has been going around a lot lately. Like, who in their right mind is questioning if Anakin is truly the chosen one? But I'm going to go ahead and follow up with this. Since Disney, bought out the franchise and started retconning how people see the movies with their EU lore, I can see why they're questioning. And this all began with their own trilogy, the Disney trilogy, and copying like Dark Empire with the survival of Palpatine. And then also the way they treated Luke. So with that being said, of course there's going to be questions. However, there is a video by George. Let me see if I know someone posted it down here, and I'm going to go ahead and find it. I should have had it off to the side, but here we go. So we're going to go ahead and play this. Dude, don't start playing yet. And if any one of you guys had any questions whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't, and let me know with a thumbs up if you can hear this.
I think when you watch the actual movie.
Okay, did you guys hear that? I'm going to come back to the screen here. Did you hear that? Before I play again. So this is just a short clip of the video. Hopefully you guys play that. I don't see nothing coming up. StreamYards could be painfully slow sometimes in bringing up the chats here. And I see I have a super chat. Okay, I see a thumbs up. Let's go ahead and rewind it. All right. So if anybody had any questions whatsoever regarding if Anakin's the chosen one, let's listen to the creator himself, the maker.
I think when you watch the actual movie in order, the story will become very clear that Anakin is the chosen one. I think when you watch the actual movie.
And so there you go. So that was a quick clip of that regarding him as the chosen one. Why is there any question to if he's the chosen one? I want my screen back up there, dude. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So with that being said, I just wanted to share that real quick. And Soul Assassin basically gave us the whole clip there. That was a mini clip to that. Like I said, I find it kind of like if you watch Star Wars most of your life, to where even if the PT was your first experience, we know Anakin is the chosen one. So yeah, let's see here. And Crimson Mist says, yes, I have heard that. And Matt Wilkins, what's up? Hello, Calendar Girl. Why, hello to you. And thank you for your support as well. And I know I had a super chat. Okay, I better get to this one here before I forget. And here we go. So Melissa Lord with a $2 super chat. Good to see you, girl. Love you. And love you too, girl. And thank you for your continued support. I love engaging with you, whether I'm here or on the spacing or modding for Raging Rhino's channel as well, Casual Rage. So you are amazing and such a great supporter in our community here. Let's see here. Let me see what you have to say. Come on, work with me now. See, ever since I badmouthed StreamYards, now it's going slow for me again. Don't you just love it when that happens? Streets like, they know, they hear you, they know. Yeah. So let's see here. Zorg PL says, George was playing the chosen one status. It was Luke and Anakin. Later was supposed to be Leia in his sequel. So we'll get into that. So no, it's always been Anakin. Luke was the catalyst to that. And then Leia with that sequel mention, and I do have the book here in front of me or next to me. She was never the chosen one to restore balance and destroy the Sith. That's what the chosen one means. So she was basically the one to have restored the new republic. That's what he meant. So not the chosen one to restore balance and destroy the Sith. So people forget that what the chosen one prophecy is about, and so they automatically think that that's what George meant in his what if trilogy that he shared in Star Wars Archives episodes 1 through 3, this book here. So there's a lot more in depth in here to go with what he's been saying. And so by all means, it was never Leia as the chosen one to restore balance. Let's see here. Come on, dude. Work with me. Work with me. This is what I get for bad mouthing StreamYards here. It decides to go slow. Because they don't like George's Star Wars, they want Disney's. And, that's a provocative question, person has to share. And it goes into people's what ifs. But when you do your research in the making of the movies, and then it also goes into the EU, Anakin has always been the chosen one, but the chosen one prophecy doesn't mean that you're just going to go down a one path of being a Jedi, because that was never what it was meant. It doesn't say that you have to be a Jedi either. So that's another thing. I'm gonna have to do a video about that, what the chosen one prophecy is and what it entails, because no way did it say that someone has to be a Jedi to fulfill it or remain as a Jedi to fulfill it. So I think I will do a video on that, getting all kinds of ideas. Mondays are now my content days to either put up any kind of lore video or EU short or whatever. And I do have an EU short up, and it's going back into the major manufacturers again. And I've been having fun. Sometimes they get a hit and they catch on, and sometimes they don't. But they are there for your resources as well as knowledge on what's going on in the galaxy with these major manufacturers, and how did people get their vehicles, what kind of vehicles came from where, what have you. Let's see here. And Matt Wilkins says, StreamYard can't keep up with your awesomeness. I guess it cannot, but thank you so much. Let's see here. And that's okay, Brandon. You're on break, catch the replay and let me know that you came back to catch the replay. We are going to get in. Like I said, I didn't make a PowerPoint for this. Usually I get overzealous and make PowerPoints for what I'm presenting you guys so that you have visuals and you have the information in front of you. This time I didn't have time, and I'm trying to go to bed a little earlier than I have been. Is my schedule and my goals that I am pushing forward. Now the internet. I'm the only one home. Now the internet wants to friggin' yeah. So there we go. Can't stay long though, but thank you so much for coming in and catching while you're on break. I appreciate all support. MB Geeks Bar and Grill. In the book, OG Star Wars, what is your favorite story era? For me, New Jedi Order was just amazing. So basically I go back between New Jedi Order and Legacy of the Force. So, and I know Matt Wilkins is here. And in the beginning, I don't know if you were watching at the time, I talked about, like, we all know that, Mara and Luke couple, we already know that, but I was curious to see if anybody else had any other preferences for Luke relationship wise. And I know Matt Wilkins, yours was Callista, right? From right I remember, Callista. So let's see here. Come on, dude. Work with me. There we go. Love the jacket. Thank you so much. It's from the fitness group I'm in right here, Bombshell Fitness, and the calendar. They're the ones that is sponsoring the calendar as well. I have been a Star Wars fan a lot longer than you. Your knowledge is humbling. Really? How long have you been? Because I remember watching it since I was 3. And yeah, I just don't want to give out. Okay, I will give. Okay, so a woman's prerogative. We usually don't give out our age or anything. So me and Star Wars were born in the same year. Let's put it that way. Oh, good. I've had some idiot saying that Leia was going to be the chosen one on another channel. Now I can tell them he's wrong. Yeah, she's not the chosen one. She was never the chosen one intended like to restore balance and destroy the Sith, because she hasn't. And she's dead now in the Disney lore. So yeah, that's it crazy. So speaking of like talking about Jedi balance and all of that stuff, so we know that Luke basically is the catalyst to help his father fulfill his prophecy where, you know, Anakin destroyed the Sith within himself, basically, and the Emperor. So he fulfilled the prophecy. And going forward, we have Luke's story just beginning. You know, he was the hope, right? And then in the EU, his story goes, it just begins. We see what projects him into becoming a Jedi, helping restore the galaxy from the tyranny of the Empire, all of that. And then the EU really takes off with his story going forward on revamping the Jedi Order as well. So about 11 ABY, and I have my cheat sheet right here because I was doing all my research. I may not have all the Jedi, his first round of Jedi listed. If I miss anybody, just let me know. I'm not perfect, but I would love to just write them down to include. So when I do the compare and contrast video that's coming up, I can include that. So if you guys are familiar with the Jedi or the Jedi Academy trilogy, that's when we see Luke propose to the New Republic, like Mon Mothma, for them to sanction him going forward in creating the Jedi Order, finding recruits, having resources, getting funded by them, all of that. Mon Mothma says, we need the Jedi. We approve of it. You do what you need to do, all of that. And if you go check out Matt Wilkins' channel. He just passed through reading the new Jedi Order trilogy. So if you want to go back and refresh your memory on all of that, feel free to go support his channel. Go check out those 3 reread reviews that he did. He is now on Visions of the Future. So in the Thrawn duology. So go check it out. I highly recommend that because he does great reread our book reviews on the EU. So 11 ABY is when Luke proposed. We know, like with the Thrawn trilogy and all that, before then, Luke was still looking like, knew that he was gonna, bring back the Jedi, preparing himself to train not only his sister. His sister is basically his very first student ever, really, but also her children. And through that all, this is all original Luke. Through that all, we know that he had his worries, he had his fears, all of that he moved through because he wasn't sure if he was going to be knowledgeable enough, or if by mistake he's going to end up bringing in another Sith or a Darksider or what have you, or someone's going to fall. All those fears were happening, yet he still pushed on. He still pushed on. And I see some questions here. I'm going to go ahead and find them. Or not find them, bring them up. Bring balance to the Force. What is balance? Balance is the light side. So that video that Soul Assassin shared, I think it might have a little bit about what balance is, but George says balance basically is the light side. Keeping that balance is harder than staying in the dark side, because dark side is quick, it's greedy, it's simple, it's easy kind of deal. Yeah. He gets into the philosophy of that. Possible video on Rex's Prime. Everything ends up on the galactic dump planet. That's right. That would be an interesting one. What, where is the garbage? Where does all the galaxy's garbage go to? I forgot all about that one. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yes, that would be a fun one to do. I don't think that would be an EU short though. I think I would have to do a little bit more. There would be more time added to that, more information added to that. And then Brandon says, I'm so tired. I have had a hell going on right now. The stream is one of the things that been keeping me going. Thanks. Cheers to you. That's what I'm here for, you guys. Is to sit down, let's relax with our drink, whether it's something hard or something more comforting, or hard liquor can be comforting. I don't know. Everybody's personality is different. And I said something hard. Oh boy. But anyways, this is what this is about. Sit down, laugh, talk, share about Star Wars, and that's what Caf Chat's all about. And getting into the cringe factor. Cringe factor doesn't have to be kind of like kind of deal, like, oh, what the hell? What are they thinking? It could also be something that we can laugh about or whatever. So yeah, so thank you so much for your continued support, and I appreciate you coming in and letting yourself unwind to Caf Chat. I've been reviewing the Callisto trilogy. Awesome. 25, right. I don't know what the 25 means. OG and Star Wars are the same age. We're talking prequels, right? You young girl. Yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which one it is. So, and then once I start getting information more about the calendar, and then we go to our calendar shoots, I may share sneak peeks, maybe with the channel members only. So we'll see. Because I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done anything special for the channel members as of lately. It's been a while, and I truly love that you guys are still channel members. I still want to do the Clone Wars watch party. Still, it hasn't fully fallen through the cracks yet. I will set that up, but I want to share, like, all inclusive or exclusive or whatever you want to call it, but share, like, sneak peeks into what's going on for the photo shoot and stuff like that with channel members at least. Hey guys, I'm late. That's okay. I'm sort of late. That's okay. I'm like a few hours late because I had to reschedule, this time frame. You're good. I'll see you all later. Have a good night. Rest up. And we'll see you next time. And then NB Geeks says, Star Wars, so is that Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. A ripoff of Dark Empire, in my honest opinion. Dark Horse did it better, as it did not change canon or the chosen one before we knew what it was. Yeah, so there was that little bit of conflict, but it wasn't bad whatsoever. And George made it adamant about who is the chosen one. And here you go. So those who are interested in this, feel free to check it out later. Go support. And Soul Assassin, subscribe to Matt Wilkins. And the planet of junk in the Transformers movie, that was where it all goes. Rexus Prime. Yeah, so now going back to the lore here. So 11 ABY is when he got sanctioned, got the support of the forming New Republic in creating the Jedi Order, bringing in initiates to start training, all what have you. And that trilogy takes you on a journey on him searching for and bringing, and what happens to at least one that's found, and that's Kip Duran. So if you're familiar with the story, you know his story behind that. And then also someone comes in from the Old Republic, and that's Exar Kun. So we have this continuity going on of this Sith ghost. They are spirit. They can't really become Force ghosts, but they can become Sith spirits, and it's completely different. Their essence kind of stays within the confines of where they died at or whatever, and their manifestation is very different. It's not like they have immortality, is what they say a Force ghost is. Damn, another video I'm have to do a comparing or have, and to make distinctive what a Sith ghost or spirit is versus a Force ghost. 25 years old. I see that, Stunning and Brave. Yeah, so another one. It's like I have to write all these ideas down. I wonder if anybody's ever covered Sith spirit versus Force ghost, because those are two different things. But anyway, so we have Exar Kun that comes in and raises hell. Luke, people say, oh, Luke is OP in the original EU. No. And Exar Kun takes him down, basically puts him in a kind of a coma, like a forced coma. So that was very interesting. Yeah, I know it was. Yeah, at first I didn't know what 25 kind of meant, but then now I know. So yeah, so it's cool. It's good. It's all good. And then cheers to you, Matt G. And then Jackson says, I'm as old as the prequels, and I'm as old as Alora's son. Still pissed I will never get the Sword of the Jedi trilogy. That's one that I look forward to, because I wanted to see exactly when, what went on with Jaina, Jag, and Ben. They were going to be the three going forward, because it seems like Star Wars, everything comes in threes. Prequels, you had Anakin, you had Obi-Wan, and you had Padme. OT, Leia, Luke, and Han. And then going forward, it looked like Jaina, Jag, and Ben Skywalker. So those are the three to set up everything that leads into Legacy Comics. And we will kind of talk about Legacy Comics here pretty soon, because like I said, we're getting through. This is how much I had of the research for Disney Luke's Order, because they're still evolving it, I guess you can say. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But this is, I could have added more to Luke's Order in the original lore, but I did not, because that's a lot, and I want to save some stuff for the compare and contrast. So let me see what you guys are saying. Well, okay, it jumps like crazy. Woo! All these just came in, and I'm just trying to get to where I need to go here. There we go. IMSO, I read that one. Okay, I see where I'm at. Scrolling down. All right, Melissa says, the Junkions, we talk TV act now. Limit, time offer, supplies limit, batteries not included. And, well, Luke decided to use the ruins of Exar Kun's temple for his Praxium. And that's where, like, Leia and Mon Mothma's like, why don't we let you go ahead and use the facility that housed us at Yavin? And so Luke's like, okay, not knowing that there is that Sith energy. None of them knew that that Sith energy was there, but there was Exar Kun. And that was what posed the problems. And mind you, I'm going to go ahead and say this, or you guys may know this, but when George created the PT and he was creating the character Darth Maul, he wanted something that made him completely different, like even with the lightsaber. And so Exar Kun from the EU is what inspired George to have the double-bladed lightsaber. So another bit of like EU that is in our movie influenced by EU, which basically we already know that the EU was part of the overall continuity canon, that they all, like, it was one big history, and the Jedi Academy trilogy shares that, even through just with Exar Kun being a part of the lore there. We're tying in past, present, and then maybe a little bit of future, because Luke is creating the new Jedi Order. He's going through his first students so that the Jedi can return, which then takes us into further into the New Republic and then into the new Jedi Order. So by the time we get towards the end of the New Republic era of the Star Wars timeline, we start seeing the second wave of students come in, and we'll get to that. And let's see here. I'm saying Grandmaster Luke is OP is like saying Grandmaster Yoda is OP, but no one complains about Yoda, right? So, and both of them we see um, struggle and fail in some way, shape, or form. Like even Luke in New Jedi Order series, he's kind of a pacifist in the beginning. He kind of is very passive with the direction the order should go at first. And I've heard people complain that's not Luke. Well, he's deciding which way they should go because he doesn't want the order, his Jedi, to turn dark. Like, and so he is very conflicted in that time frame because they are going against a threat they never seen before. So of course he's going to question. Of course he's going to hold back. And then you have Kip Duran and his dozen. They're like, screw this shit. We're going to go ahead and take action because something needs to be done. You know, so we see this push and pull inside the order during that time. And I haven't even got there yet, but I just thought I would bring that up and we'll get back to that. Let's see here. And let's see here. I'm as old as the Mulan movie. we're all dating ourselves by the movies now. How are aging ourselves? Age is just a number, you know. And that's where I'm at with that. Melissa Lord says, and I'm as old as Empire Strikes Back. Laugh out loud. I am an old lady. No, you're still pretty much young. Like I said, age is just a number. Is this bacon? I must be hungry. It's almost time for my lunchtime here. So when I get off here, I'll have lunch. Nah. And let's see here. NB Geek Bar and Grill, $2 super chat. Kylo was no Kip. I agree. No, Kylo, not Kylo, or Kyle, whatever the hell I called him. Kip Duran. And there's controversy in that trilogy about Luke letting Kip get off as from all that he did when he was influenced by the dark side and by Exar Kun. So there's that controversy and debate, like Luke shouldn't have let him get off so easily, and neither should the New Republic have. So that right there is is questioned again in Fate of the Jedi. However, nothing happened from that. Nothing happened from that. Zizzy Star Wars, however, Tahiri Vela is the one that really got in trouble and went to trial for killing Pelion. Disney Star Wars people complain about Luke because he's straight white male. Yeah, that's the conclusion there, and I totally agree. And like, there's a long time, and Melissa, I'm pretty sure you heard me say this, and we've talked about this, and I'm just going to revisit it. But they're saying women and people of color, and I'm just going to just say just how they do it, how they say it, cannot relate to a character if they don't see themselves mirrored, like mirrored and looks like them. They can't relate to them, which I find very odd because growing up, I never had a problem, with seeing myself with Luke Skywalker and some of his virtues and some of his fears and some of his stuff. For example, he's not native, he's not Filipino, he's not a woman, but I can relate to him. So relating to someone is not about the skin, it's beyond the skin. It's more than just skin deep. It goes way beyond that as well. So, and I resonated with Leia too, but Luke is what got me into the EU. And I wanted to see what happens next. What is he going to do with the Order? How is he going to resurrect or bring back the Jedi? What's going to happen with him? Is he going to have a hard time of it? What's going to happen with also Han and Leia? Are they going to get married? All of that. So all of that. But like, I wanted to know what happened with Luke. Is he bringing back the Order? Let's see here. Bunch of younglings in the chat today. Any 90s kids around? I'm feeling old. Oh, that's great. Kip was awesome. I love the Sun Crusher trilogy. Yes. Yes. And Matt Wilkins, I think when Talking EU, I did an interview with Matt for Talking EU, and his favorite character is Kip Duran as well. So if you guys haven't had a chance, I need to go and cut clips from those Talking EUs until I get the program going again with more interviews. But Kip Duran is his favorite character, so we got to discuss that, what got him into the EU, all of that. Wonderful interview with him. I would love to do a part 2 as well, because there's so much we could have covered. And I didn't want to be there more than 2 hours, because I think 2 hours is a grace time of keeping people's interest. And yeah, so go check out Talking EU with Matt Wilkins. Amazing conversation there. Amazing conversation. Soul Assassin says Lucas used the Kylo name first. He had a character named Kylo that Droids cartoon, correct. So Kylo came from the Droids cartoon. I think when we got the name of who this Ben Solo was as his dark side entity, Kylo, I did share that information on Twitter as well. I don't think I did a video on that. I really don't think I did, but I think I mentioned it on Caf Chat too. So it might be on one of the Caf Chats. I can't really link it to exactly which one, but yeah. So if you guys didn't know that, Kylo was basically a character in the Droids cartoon. We'll see what I said to Melissa above. Oh, so that's to Soul Assassin. All right. And then, so let's get on. I'm going to read this and we're going to get on with who Luke's first Jedi were. So MB Geek says, I am white and military. I relate to Cisco far more than any other Enterprise captain in the pale moonlight. He is like me. I can live with it. There you go. The character development and how they're shown to us, how well they're written, is what resonates with people. So, and here is the link, Talking E with Matt Wilkins. There you go. So if you guys want to check out that amazing interview, check it out after we're done here. Or bookmark it, save it, whatever you can do, or revisit it later on. Let's see here. And there's 18 beautiful people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please hit that like button. Jackson says, my cousin named his kids Kylo 6 years ago. I feel sorry for him. Oh my goodness. All right. So like I said, if I missed someone, my apologies. I do have honorary ones, which were brought in later on through the EU. Whether you feel it's retconned or not, we're not going to get into that debate. I already debated that a little, like yesterday with someone. Let's see here. So first Jedi of Luke's order. So his first round of students. So, and this is like 11 ABY, you know, when he first began searching and bringing people in. So we have Gantoris, Streen, Kip Duran, Siegel, Tion Salusar, and of course Cam Salusar, and Dorsk 81. So those are the main ones I got on there. Dorsk 81 was basically, I would say maybe, even though his force potential wasn't that big, Luke still brought him in. He basically was kind of like a droid or something like that. And then honorary is Mara Jade. So she is already established. She came and gone to the order, but never really buckled down to really train in the order just yet. Kyle Katarn, but we have no, wind of him being in the Jedi Academy trilogy books here. But by 14 ABY, he did take on a Padawan, Rosh Pinnan, I guess his name is. I probably said it wrong. And of course, Corran Horn, which wasn't in the Jedi Academy trilogy yet. He was brought in later. I really didn't consider that a retcon. It added more to the story, but didn't change the story, if that makes sense. Retcon changes the story. And then we had Joden Kor, or whatever his name was. And then, of course, Leia was Luke's very first student ever. And she didn't really fully commit. She was helping Mon Mothma reestablish the New Republic. She still was trying to find time to make for herself to still study and become a Jedi. But we know that she didn't become a Jedi until way later in the history timeline. So if I missed someone, please let me know. Please let me know. OG Star Wars, I met Stackpole a few years ago at Con in Indy. Some asked why he gave Horn a disability. He said, I did not want to do another Kip. I felt he was just too strong. Yeah, I like how he made Corn stronger in some other things, but like telekinesis was his weak point, and I liked how that was passed on to his son. I think the daughter still has telekinesis, but his son inherited that, or didn't inherit telekinesis like his dad. So he didn't have that capability, and it makes the Force even a mystery because the Force is not something that's entirely inherited. So you can have a family that has never had a Force user for so many generations, and bam, there's one, and then it stops again. And then you can have a family that's very strong in the Force, but then it skips over someone. So it keeps the Force a mystery on how it works through families as well. And Stackpole said he left names out, so if someone could do a story about the other, he got that from Anderson. Yeah, so there's like that back and forth that the authors did talk. The authors did talk when it came to creating and using each other's characters most of the time. There's times that there wasn't, like when Mara Jade was killed off. Zahn was pissed because no one told him. Dorsk 81 is a goat. Those far outsiders trash from Hulu are just subverted imitations. Okay, let's see here. From what I remember, Luke had to go through some trials to get students. I think he had to fight a fire snake in recruiting a kid. Yeah, so I think that was for Gantoris. I believe that was for Gantoris, unless it was Streen. It was one of the first two, but I believe it was Gantoris. And yeah, so he had to basically use the Force, walk through fire, defeat that fire lizard dragon snake thing. I don't know what it's called. I should know, but I don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that was very interesting to see. We seen that capability of him, but Ex Harkoon took him out. So it took all his students that were training at the time, along with his niece and nephew, to help defeat. And then Dala comes along. So that's another story. But yeah, then Dala comes along. So not a retcon, a supplement. So yeah, basically expanding on the story. Try as I may, every time I hear Luke Jedi Council talking, I can't believe Kyle Katarn is on it. Why? I think rightfully so. He earned his spot. Kyle Katarn went through a lot. Like, I do have the books here. I do have a pile of books right next to me because I'm always looking and researching something up. So he went through a lot to get where he's at. And so his story is very compelling. A lot of people know him through the games. And then you have the trilogy, the Novello trilogy, these ones here. Very compelling character as well. And Kip Duran is also part of the council. Let's see here. It's like a lottery with being a Force sensitive. Revan and Basila Kid wasn't Force sensitive, but his kids were powerful in the Force. Correct. And that's a great example to that I didn't even think about. You are right. So it's interesting because you read Revan's book. At the end, you have his son running for election, basically, but he doesn't have the Force or anything, but his kids do. So that was very interesting. An incredible mixture of genetics, phonetics, resonance, and other indeterminable factors. Yeah. So the midichlorians basically Yeah, there it's just one factor of how someone can, like, the force can be used to the body, but doesn't mean that everybody's force sensitive. It's still kept in a mystery. Press Y if y'all want. Okay, maybe not. Press Y if y'all want OG to do a book collection video. I have to get my shit cleaned up before I do something like that. I'm reorganizing. Like I said, I need to like have a permanent spot for my live stream YouTube channel studio space, so that when I do my art, when I do my research with the books and stuff, because right now my art studio is also my video studio as well. I want to make sure that everything's functional and that it's not all bleeding in together, doesn't look messy. I'm pretty organized with the equipment that I have for live streaming and stuff. So that's all coming together. But I wouldn't mind doing a book collection video. In fact, I do have some books coming my way. So I can't wait to let you guys see that. Maybe next Caf Chat, hopefully. I will share them with you. My daughter found a nice little haul at Amoeba record store, pop culture store, and she picked them up for me, including 2 Dark Horse comics. Get back here. Did the New Jedi Order answer to the New Republic? At times, yes. So there's an evolution of that. Just the old order, the new order did work with the Republic. The old order from the PT era worked with the old Republic, and now the new Jedi Order worked in tandem with the new Republic. However, there was times that they worked separately, either by choice or not. That push and pull, and by the time we get to Fate of the Jedi, looks like we need to work for the greater galaxy, not just for the New Republic. And if I'm sounding robotic, I'm sorry. My warning little internet thing popped up here. It's quite. I thought like this internet that we're getting, that the tribe was gonna hooked up for us, was gonna be a lot better than what we had, and so far. And that's another thing I need to set up my studio space. I have an idea, like where I'm pointing to is going to be in that area, so you'll see a different view. And then I need my ether cable. I haven't set that up yet either. So we have a couple Ys going on here. So we have 2 so far. And let's see here. So we're coming up on the top of the hour, so I want to finish up this here. But MB Geek says, if Disney had just allowed a few EU books a year, I mean, was that really too much for them to do? Because they might want to consider that. I don't want them to do anything now. I don't want them to touch anything now. Not whatsoever. No. How they have been handling their direction on with the EU, their EU. No. Nope. And when we get into the Mara Jade Cringe Factor article, we'll go on that. So let's move on. So a little history about Exar Kun. He took down Luke for some time. Everybody from the Order, including his niece and nephew, when they were little, had to help Luke out. I'm not going to give too much spoilers, so if you haven't read it, I recommend you go to the Jedi Academy trilogy, pick up those books. This is where the start of, like, Thrawn trilogy is good. It's not necessarily the start of the Order, but the Jedi Academy trilogy is. So the second wave or generation of the Order, which basically the Order started growing stronger. So Luke learned from mistakes. Kip Duran was a huge learning lesson for him on how to, about redemption and how to help one of his students out and what have you. But of course, again, if I miss someone, I am sorry. We have Jaina, Jason, Anakin, Solo, so the 3 Solo children. And I'm just throwing out their names, like everybody wasn't born the same time. So when they join, was according to their age. I'm not gonna, list the years that they joined. And then of course Ben Skywalker, which was years later. I wouldn't consider him this wave because he was born in the middle of the conflict with the Vong, the war. Then Tenokal, Tahiri Vela, Lubaka, Zek, Gisela, and Valen too were kind of younger in the younger portion of the group that came through. There are probably more I missed, but that's the second wave. That's the second wave of the students in the order, and from there the order kept growing. And by the time we get at the end of the Yuuzhan Vong trilogy, a lot of losses have occurred, a lot of deaths within the galaxy, including the Jedi. So by the time we get into the Darkness trilogy, which is basically the conclusion of the New Jedi Order era, I guess you could say. And I did this quiz on Twitter. Only 23%, I believe, got it right, but by time the Darkness trilogy came about, there was only 2,000 Jedis left in the order. So 2,000 Jedi in the order, compared to the old Republic, the old order, which had 10,000 plus as a part of the order, whether working on location or the various praxiums or as sentinels working and stationed throughout the whole galaxy. And let's see here. And so eventually the order seen another purge. So if you're familiar with the Legacy comics, and we're still in the original lore of Luke's order, by the time we get to Cade Skywalker's generation, and his father, his uncle, and stuff like that, and that generation of Jedi. Of course, we have like Jaina Solo's Imperial, her knights, and we have the Fel Empire. We have all these different, completely different factions, and we had Darth Krayt is the one that did the last purge and destroyed nearly everybody from the order. Very tragic. I highly recommend Legacy Comics here, but it didn't fully destroy the order as itself. They did go underground, and I wish we'd have got more to see how they rebuilt from there. And then if Cade Skywalker was a part of that, we will never know now. But they did overcome another purge. I believe that this purge, compared to the purge that Palpatine did, I believe the purge under the Skywalkers was they held stronger, but that's just my theory. So let me know what you guys think of that. And as for, we're going to the Disney one now. So we're going to the Disney Jedi Order. So the location was Ossus, and it was constructed 9 ABY. So that's what they put. So when you see, was it one of the shows, Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian, I forget which one, because they kind of bled through each other. When you see, Luke with Grogu, that's when he was putting together one of the praxiums there, I guess. But it was also destroyed in 28 ABY. And we all know the story from there. It all happened because a bad dream happened, and Luke freaked out, wanted to kill his nephew, ignited his lightsaber, and all hell went. Everything went down. So after the order was destroyed, all the students, what have you, Luke ran away from his responsibilities. Instead of wanting to correct things, he just wanted to run away. He wanted the Jedi to die. And if you guys were with me, was it last week or the other Caf Chat? Luke basically decided he wanted the Jedi to end and a new light side entity to come forward, that he didn't want the Jedi to be resurrected whatsoever. But then that contradicted. So that was what Ryan Johnson said, and that was a Cringe Factor article, that Ryan Johnson contradicts himself, because when Luke told Kylo, his nephew in the Disney lore, talking Disney lore, not the original lore, he was like, I'm not the last Jedi. So if he really wanted the Jedi to end and a new Force light side entity to come up, that was a huge contradiction to what Ryan Johnson was trying to explain. So I'm not going to get into any of that, where I'm just sharing, comparing quickly between the two orders here. And that's all I got. So his students consisted of, in the Disney lore, the Disney Jedi Order. I'm not going to say new. There's nothing new about it, because we all know the evidence has been shared already, and even on my channel, that Luke followed the premise of what the old order did. So basically, he didn't resurrect and create a new order and corrected any mistakes, whether he knew they were mistakes or not. He basically rebuilt the order to mirror the old. So that's another failing of his in the Disney Jedi Order, the Disney lore. So students were, of course, Ben Solo, Grogu, which was temporary. He decided, like Luke, didn't even change the thing about attachments. So Grogu's like, okay, well, since you're giving me this ultimatum, I'm just going to go back with that Mandalorian creep or whatever. So that's how I think about that. And then I guess there's a guy named Hennix, Ty, and Vo. And of course, Leia Solo basically was temporary. She gave up on her training whatsoever, never continued it whatsoever. Unlike the Leia in the original lore, where she still worked, still trained, did what she could until she buckled down and said, I want Saba 17 to be my master. I need someone that is not going to take my bullshit, is going to challenge me and push me to become a knight, which she did. Saba 17 and Leia's interaction as she was being trained and she became a Jedi Knight was amazing. Like, they couldn't have given her a stronger master. And then you have Leia here, who is like, I seen what happened to my son, so I don't want to train as a Jedi, because if I finish, then he's going to die. He died anyways. That's because they don't understand visions of the future, and how that's just one glimpse in the future that you just, yeah. So they don't know how to keep lore continuity, and it's been hurting theirs. So tell me what you guys think. So do you prefer, and I probably know the answer, which do you prefer? The New Jedi Order of the original lore, Luke's order of George Lucas era, our Disney order. I mean, is that even a question? Really? Is that really even a question? I don't know why I'm asking. But let's see here. My favorite character is 1 through 6, Revan, Galen, Merrick. And I know you're probably going on here. And let's see here. Jake Skywalker Chronicles. And Not My Luke. Hashtag Not My Luke. And Disney lore, Luke gives up. Lucas lore, they fought an ancient Sith spirit, fought space invaders, and a Force goddess. Correct, Abeloth. That was amazing. And he still faltered. He still needed help. Darth Krayt had to come and help him with Abeloth. Wasn't Saba 17, not 17, a clone, or was it another Jedi? Saba 17 was not a clone. She was a what was her species called? Someone help me, please. I can't think of her species. But she's a lizard species. Saba 17, not 17. 17. So I can't think of the species right now. Damn it. That's not how the Force works, Disney. Unpopular opinion, EU order. All right. So with that being said, we are going to get into cringe factor. So we talked about Luke's order. I mentioned Mara Jade is an honorary person in the academy. She came and went. She didn't fully buckle down. She didn't like the fact that Luke, brought the order back into an area that basically compromised the Jedi, had a Sith influence and stuff like that. But after their marriage is when she started hunkering down and training more, and then finally took on an apprentice. And I think Jaina was her first apprentice, I believe. I could be wrong, But I think Jaina Solo, her niece, was her first apprentice as a Jedi Master or Jedi Knight. I have to look that up now, but yeah. But I know that Jaina basically was trained and guided by Mara Jade, which you can kind of see in her attitude. I mean, she has a lot of good quirkiness like her mom and stuff, but just imagine her influence. Her mom, Leia Solo, and her aunt, Mara Jade. Just imagine that. Barabel. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Barabel. Barabel. So let's get into the article. I brazed through a little bit last night, so you might get some and reaction from me like, oh crap, I didn't read this, like what the fuck kind of reaction. So this is about, does Mara Jade fit easily into the Disney lore?
So uncivilized.
There we go. So lovely screen rat. Let me pull this up here. Lovely, lovely screen rat here. And what do you guys think? With everything that you may possibly know, do you think Mara Jade can easily be fitted into the Disney lore? Does it matter if she's married to Luke or not? Or do you think that Mara's development also was influenced by Luke? Like a person's development, like especially a character, is influenced by many, many factors. Take one out and they fail to be that character that you know and love. Screen Rat crybabies. And like I said, with Screen Rat, there is some truth going into this kind of, even though this is clickbait, this is what I use for cringe factor. Sometimes I use CBR or another one. They do reveal truth into the direction that Disney is taking the lore. And I agree, leave Mara alone. And Soul Assassin says, I thought Kyle was Mara's first apprentice, but then I remember they trained each other, correct? So Kyle and Mara, basically, they kind of teamed up. I think Kyle went dark and Mara helped him out with that. I believe I have to go back to that storyline. That one I vaguely remember, but I know that they were teamed up at one point and they trained each other. They helped each other out. So there's so many like influence Mara had with or experienced from other than Luke, like Lando Calrissian. There's a hint of them having relationship, whether it happened or not, that was vague. And but it's very interesting. So imagine this badass woman possibly having a relationship with Lando Calrissian and still going back to Luke Skywalker. So that's something just to imagine right there, right? Okay, so the making of Mara Jade canon is easy, but there's one thing Star Wars absolutely cannot do. And this is by Louis Glazebrook. So this was published about 3 days ago, and I think it was Soul Assassin that shared this article with me, or it could have been someone else. I do have people DM me certain things and say, Laura, take a look at this. And sometimes I share it. Most of the time I don't, because I'm thinking, oh, this could be a good cringe factor thing. So Star Wars New Republic era plans mean that making Mara Jade in their lore, Disney lore, is easily done. She's already canon. George Lucas era is canon because that was overseen, helped, approved by George Lucas. Yet one aspect of her character from George Lucas era cannot be translated. I wonder what that is. Does this picture reveal that? And I hate this image of Luke. The face is too chubby. The structure is too chubby. Like, as an artist, I really look into features and I can spot the differences and stuff like that easily. No, that's no, I just don't approve of that. But anyways, if you guys do that, more power to you. Star Wars bringing one popular legend character or Disney or George Lucas era character Mara Jade into their lore would be easily done. Yet one aspect of her character cannot be translated from the original stories. The idea of Mara Jade becoming are being inserted into the Disney lore has been long theorized since Disney production began on the sequel trilogy. This stems from Mara Jade's story being told in the New Republic era of Star Wars, George Lucas era, with the character being introduced in Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. So we already know where she came from. If you don't know, where the hell have you been? Are you coming out from under a rock? Because seriously, if you at least didn't know that she was one of the first original characters from Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire, dude, you have been under a rock. As much as Disney production of the sequel trilogy set shortly after the New Republic era led many to wish Mara Jade would be introduced into Star Wars Disney lore, this was not the case. Though the plans of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, of course, they got to spit out their name, of course, since The Mandalorian Season 1 have seen these theories once again become prevalent, with the latter set to direct a feature film that will culminate Star Wars New Republic era. So The Mandalorian is within the Star Wars New Republic era. So I don't know why it seems like they're saying, based on elements from Zahn's New Republic novel trilogy. So you mean Zahn's Heir to the Empire Thrawn trilogy, making Star Wars Mara Jade into their lore could be accomplished only without one important aspect of her original counterpart. So how Mara Jade can be part of the Star Wars Disney lore? So this is from the book Sacrifice. Many of you guys know that this is the image, that one of her last images before she dies. Very tragic. I know a lot of people got pissed off for her being killed. And if you did get pissed off, I'm so sorry. I did not mind her death as much as I would love to have seen her grow a little older with Luke. Let me get this off the screen. I think it propelled Luke and Ben Skywalker story forward more, with more depth. Whether you agree with me or not, that could be debated later. But yeah, this is one of the things that pissed off fans who love Mara Jade, was her death. Firstly, I hate when people say firstly. First, it was worth exploring how Mara Jade could become part of Disney lore. In original lore, her character was a Sith assassin, so she wasn't a Sith. She was just a dark side, or she was just an assassin. So, was she assassin for a Sith? Yes, but she wasn't a Sith assassin. Emperor Palpatine's secretive right hand servant was a hand, his hand, who would do his bidding in the latter stages of the Galactic Civil War. After Palpatine's death, Mara Jade became a smuggler before becoming embroiled in the New Republic's war with Grand Admiral Thrawn. So she was still a smuggler when that happened. She was still a part of Talon Karrde's crew. In fact, he was getting ready to promote her as his second in command. Despite not being present in the original Star Wars trilogy, actually, she ended up being in the radio drama. So basically, she became G-canon once the radio drama came out. There are still ways she could become a part of the Disney lore. After all, given the nature of Star Wars stories involving many prequels, sequels, and spin-offs, the storytelling at Lucasfilm are no longer strangers to retconning. Well, they don't retcon, they just don't keep continuity. I think that's a different thing. There's a whole different thing. They don't keep continuity whatsoever. And when they do retconning, it's against the movies. So I have already discussed this millions of times here on my channel, how they're producing the EU, whether through the books, the comics, or even in their shows, their TV shows. They are changing how fans see George Lucas, his 6 movies. It could easily be written that she was sent on a mission during the Battle of Endor and Return of the Jedi, potentially assassinate high-ranking rebel members during a chaos of the battle, which explains why she was not aboard the Death Star 2 with Palpatine. Well, all the high-ranking rebels members were at Yavin, or not Yavin, were at Endor. They were all corresponding to what was going on there, to the mission, to destroying the Death Star 2. So I don't think this person knows what they're talking about. Like, all the high-ranking people of the rebellion were mainly together at Yavin. They had to pull all the resources because they were a very small faction. That's why the Empire thought it would be easy to overcome them and destroy them, because they were so small. However, we do know, like, after the destruction of Alderaan, a lot of people have been starting to change their views on the rebellion and secretly siding, what have you. However, when you get into the lore, the rebels, the rebellion was still very small faction. So all the resources were spent at Endor. So there was no way she could be off trying to assassin, unless you want to say Mon Mothma, maybe, but I think she was still nearby, close by, what have you. But other than that, they were all together in correspondence to what's going on with Endor, whether stationed near or close by or actually on ground. And then it says she could have fled and became a smuggler, as with the case with her legend story. So basically her original story. So we already know that she was already sent off to have holiday, I guess you could say, or vacation during the time of Endor. And then during that time, she felt Palpatine's death. We already know that story, what have you. So they're trying to bounce off without having her go on holiday, I guess you can say, and that her being assassin for Palpatine was, going to go off and assassinate someone, I guess, what have you. But as always, Original Lore does it better, because there's no way that she could have been sent off on a mission to go assassinate a high official in the rebellion when they were all corresponding to what was going on in Endor. One possibility could be that Star Wars The Skeleton Crew introduces Mara Jade. Oh, fuck, no. The show sets to release in the later quarter of 2023, and I have no clue what the hell the Skeleton Crew is going to be about. Do any of you guys know? I don't know what it's about. I don't know. Like, I don't support Disney Star Wars, but I do keep on top of what's going on so I can compare and contrast. I know what I'm talking about when I'm comparing the lores and stuff like that. And so basically it says, will be a part of the New Republic timeline and center on more underworld aspects of the Star Wars galaxy, like pirates. Pirates have often been shown to work with smugglers in the Star Wars galaxy, which could introduce, so if that's what the Skeleton Crew means, that this is about an underworld kind of thing, it looks like they're trying to mirror what 1313 and Underworld George was doing. I don't know. Which could introduce Mara Jade to the franchise in canon. Regardless, it would be relatively easy to retcon Star Wars in, see, there we go, the keyword retcon, because she cannot truly be the character she needs to be, that we grew up knowing and loving. Then, the true Mara Jade. And so they admit it's a retcon. As has been the case with plenty other storylines and characters, correct, other than they can't keep continuity with their own stuff, they totally retcon. And even Timothy Zahn retcon Thrawn. We know that because, like, the planet, all of that is not the same. Here, the character is not the same. That being said, there is one aspect of Mara's character that cannot happen in Disney lore. I don't want to leave the page, but I want you. Let's go back. Oh, geez. What's going on here? Of course. There we go. I don't want to click on the picture. So, come on, work with me, dude. So the one aspect that cannot happen in Disney lore, her marriage to Luke Skywalker, of course, because they already cucked him out. They already made him not even a skeleton or a shell of what we knew him as. It's like he's not even recognizable no more. So would she be recognizable? Hell no. Like I said, when one aspect of a character's development elements or element of development is taken out, whether it's an influence by an event or by another character, that character ceases to be what they truly were. They just become just name only. Take Palpatine out of her development, she's no longer Mara. Take take Talon Card, she's no longer who she is. Take Luke out of it, she's no longer who she is. So it doesn't matter which one you take out of her character development, who influenced her and grew her into the person she is through their influence, she ceases to be the character. She's only in name only. It's only name only. Mara Jade eventually grows to respect and fall in love with Luke Skywalker despite being ordered to murder him by Palpatine. The last command. The marriage saw Mara Jade become one of the central masters of Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Order, aiding in wars against the Yuuzhan Vong in Second Galactic War. Correct. However, while Jade could easily be introduced into Disney lore, her character would have to be somewhat altered. No, it's completely altered, not somewhat altered, completely altered, because everything going forward in the New Republic for her, with Luke's influence of pulling her out of those dark spaces that Palpatine raised her in, that takes away from her character if that influence is not there. So it's not somewhat altered, it's completely altered. Like if you kept Luke in there, but you took Palpatine out, she's still not the same character, because there's no way she can progress and Luke can influence her to be in a better version of herself. Especially concerning her relationship with Luke Skywalker, Disney sequel trilogy established that Luke Skywalker had no children or a wife of his own between Return of the Jedi and his death in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, or at least refused to confirm whether this was the case. Luke's journey in the sequel trilogy does not fit, including Mara Jade as his wife. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. As his wife, meaning Star Wars would have to alter the latter story that is less intrinsically tied to Luke Skywalker. So there you go. So that is proof that she would not fit into Disney lore. She would only be in name only. It's only name only for her, and that's it. That's it. So what do you guys think? I know you guys are probably just zooming around here with this right here. All right, I'm going to try to scroll up as far as I can, but I want to go ahead and show this here. Mara Jade lore, here you go. So if you guys want to learn more, let's see here in my community page. Let's see here. All right, leave Mara alone. Lightsaber ignites, come on. No, don't go near Mara Jade. We all know Disney is thinking of bringing her back. You know Zahn wants her back. You know that if they do that, he's going to be down for it, because then he gets a paycheck. He gets a paycheck. Just like with Thrawn, he got a paycheck. That's all they care about now these days, is just the paycheck. Like I had an in-depth conversation on Twitter with Michael Stackpole, and all he cares about is the paycheck. That he's willing to write Corran Horn back into the Disney lore. He said it'd be fun and interesting to reinvent his character arc. So I had a back and forth with him. It was civil. So Soul Assassin, it was civil, no blocks or whatsoever. So Batu says Mara Jade would be disgusted with Luke and what he did to Ben and Leia. Correct. She had strict morals. She had a more morality type structure, like personality. They will make Mara lesbian with Ahsoka. Oh God. That is so, no, I don't even want to think about that. That's Luke if his diet consists of Big Macs. They want another girl boss. Correct. If you've seen Ahsoka, like if you've seen the trailer that just came out not too long ago, oh my God. It's like all female. Mind you, I don't mind as long as it's written good, but you know the direction with Disney lore on where they're going with this. So get out from under that rock and Darth Angelis' Heir to the Empire series. Correct. He's doing a marvelous job with that. I'm seeing like his art, his animation art just evolve as well. It's been fun watching. Sacrifice made sense to me. Mara chose the light when given the dark. Correct. Jason conversely was given the light but chose the dark. Yes, that's a great point there. The only one who was sorry for Mara's death was Lumaya when she fought Luke for the last time. That was a compelling one. A lot of people were like, oh, well, Luke went dark. He did this, blah, blah, blah. He killed her, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a reason why. And he realized how much that was another lesson of Luke's that he had to realize that he succumbed to revenge, which tainted him. And then later on, his interaction with his nephew Jason tainted him further, where he knew if he went to pursue to end this conflict with Jason, that he would turn dark. So that's why we had Jaina step up. That's another reason why Jaina stepped up, because Luke knew he couldn't do that. So people argue with like, oh, Luke, he went dark and blah, and use that against his character. Well, if you really looked into this and knew and read these stories, you would understand how this conflicted Luke, and he, out of the wisdom he gained out of all the years and experiencing, and fighting against the dark side and even going to the dark side a little bit, he took that wisdom and knew that if he was to pursue the course, he would go dark, and so he had to step back. That's great storytelling right there. He didn't run away from it like he did in the Disney lore, but he knew that he couldn't pursue his nephew and stuff like that. Okay, so laugh out loud. All right, so we're going to start closing out now. So thank you guys so much, but I'm going to read through these comments because I'm curious to see what you guys had to say with this cringe factor. Secret mission during the Battle of Endor. Clearly, they do not remember Eden Versio, who wrote the GDS. I'm censoring. Oh my goodness. Star Trek Prodigy and Disney Descendants mixed into Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Yeah, I kind of got that, but I mean, like I said, I have no idea what they're trying to do there. Who cares about Disney Star Wars at this point? Probably not a lot of people. Skeleton Crew. Jude's Law will be a Jedi, apparently. They want Mara Jade without Luke. That's what they want. Yeah, because women doesn't need a man to help them grow and progress and stuff, because women are strong and capable, and no man needs to rule them, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But without the woman for the man or the man for the woman, we would have no species. We would have no development, character development. We would not know how to complement each other or even get on each other's nerves. So I don't know what they're trying to do here. Disney doesn't know anything about the galactic underworld, or anything about the galactic underworld. They literally think it's under Coruscant, right? I love the picture, by the way. Everyone in the EU treats Anakin's lightsaber like it's priceless. Everyone in canon either treats it like trash or destroyed. So you mean everyone in the original or in the canon treat it like it's priceless, where everyone in Disney Star Wars treats it like it's trash or destroys it. There you go. Jake Skywalker could never land a hottie like Mara Jade. That's what I was saying. Imagine this, okay? So they hinted on Mara Jade and Lando Calrissian having a relationship. even though she tells Luke it wasn't one, but there's a hint. It was never really truly clarified. So you could still say there was something there. But imagine, a smoothie like Lando Calrissian, with Mara Jade, and then she still chooses Luke. Very interesting, right? And Disney Star Wars is about 75% down in value, you hear. Yeah, I mean, there's some things that like they need to change course correct or what have you. Yeah, so the parks are doing pretty good though, from what I hear. But anyways, we're not here to discuss those type of politics here. So as we start concluding, I probably know your guys' answer. I think we all agree, just like Thrawn, she would be in name only. And without any influence by Luke or Palpatine or even Talon Card, she will not be the same character whatsoever. Even if she comes in as a Sith assassin, or not a Sith assassin, but as an assassin for Palpatine, the Emperor's hand. Because mind you, she never was Sith. She was just an assassin for a Sith. So she would never be the character without any one of the influences that helped her evolve as a character. And people go into this marriage thing like a woman doesn't need a man to complement them in marriage and blah, 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 blah. They don't need a man to help push them forward, blah, 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 blah. Then I question, okay, so if they don't need a man, she doesn't need a husband to make her who she is, because that's degrading to a woman to think that a man would fulfill her and make her as a character she is. Then what the hell is Palpatine to her? Why are you strongly going for Palpatine to influence her as a character? But because Luke became her husband, why is that a bad influence? Why is Palpatine a good influence and Luke a bad influence? Why is a Sith Lord who kidnapped her, where she doesn't even remember her own family, and created her as an assassin? Why is that such a good influence on her? But then someone who brings her out of that darkness, takes her out of Palpatine's last command influence, leaves a remarkable impression on her by even giving her his father's lightsaber because he sees potential in her. Later takes her as his wife. Why is that such a negative influence? See the direction and the mind frame that these fans are now in? Palpatine's a good influence for her, but Luke Skywalker is a bad influence for her. Imagine that. Imagine that concept. Where like my generation and those who grew up with the lore and seeing this development knew that Palpatine was a bad influence on her. Luke was the good. But take away one of those elements, or all, or two, or even Talon Card out of the influence for her, she ceases to be Mara Jade. So I'll leave you guys with this. Question people who think it would be productive and smart to bring Mara Jade in, and they use Palpatine as the better influence for her versus Luke. And you're right, lots of anti-male hero talk going around, correct. So question it all. Bring it up. Why would Luke's influence, which was very positive to her, let her experience love, because she never had that. She even talks about that. She always had her guard up. She didn't allow people in. So why would Luke be the negative influence on her? Like, she needs no man, but Palpatine is the positive. So Luke wouldn't matter for her influence, but Palpatine does. So question it all. Question it all. And thank you guys again for tuning in to Caf Chat and coming in at a different time. Next week, it'll be 9 a.m. And we'll go further into some lore talk, and who knows what the cringe factor article is going to be. But you can find me on the spacing So it's the anniversary for the spacing. So there will be myself, the original panel, plus many others that Open Airlock Policy is bringing in. So stay tuned for that. 8:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Excuse me. So see you guys then. Mondays are content creation day. So stay tuned to see what's being posted next for the channel. And stay tuned for more interviews with Talking EU. I'm trying to establish some more interviews. Maybe some people you may have not known about that are big EU fans. I would love to interview, like people that I don't have in my immediate circle that love the EU. It's all about just sharing the love of the EU and exposing the people in a positive way on what influenced them and got them into the EU. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. And until we talk again, you guys have a great day.
The fate of the galaxy is now in your hands. With the new LEGO Star Wars Slave One, you can load Captain Solo, arm your weapon systems, man the cockpit, and take off with the most feared ship in the galaxy. But watch out for rebel ships. No matter the enemy, no matter the firepower, you control the action. With the new LEGO Star Wars collection.
Another happy landing. So uncivilized.